When Kamran steps through the heavy wooden door of his apartment, the shift in atmosphere hits him like a physical blow. He has just fled a cold, shadowy hallway that suddenly felt like an icebox. Inside, everything hums with the predictable rhythm of a safe domestic life. The television buzzes in the background, his children laugh over their phones, and the sweet smell of fresh-baked goods fills the air. But Kamran stands completely paralyzed at the entryway. His shoes are only half on, his muscles are locked, and his hands tremble violently around a plate of sweets, the exact same offering he took next door just minutes earlier. His wife, Nadia, turns from the kitchen counter to greet him with a warm smile. She expects him to be empty-handed. Instead, she sees the untouched plate of food, instantly realizing something has gone wrong. She asks him what happened, but Kamran doesn't answer. He doesn't even blink. He stares blankly at the wall, looking entirely through the room. His body is planted in his own home, but his mind is stranded somewhere else completely. Kamran's paralysis is the result of a mind hitting an absolute wall, a collision between the safety of his living room and a sight in the hallway that has just invalidated every memory of his past 3 months. This diagram maps Kamran's frantic monologue, diagnosing a reality glitch. First, a spatial error. He confirms the door was 4B, invalid. Next, a stroke. He is conscious. Hypothesis fails. The flowchart expands into a chaotic web. Did he hallucinate the last 3 months? When foundational memories shatter this quickly, it triggers depersonalization. The overwhelming doubt suffocates Kamran, disconnecting him from the physical world and leaving him feeling like a ghost haunting his own life. Confronted with a paradox that defies both external evidence and internal memory, the human mind cannot compute a solution. It defaults to a paralyzing state of cognitive freefall. Back in the physical reality of the apartment, Kamran's silence forces Nadia to escalate her response. She walks over, snaps her fingers in front of his face, and demands to know what is wrong. Nadia tracks his waxen skin and fixed gaze, diagnosing a stroke or a seizure. She is responding to a perceived medical crisis, unaware that the threat is entirely psychological. Desperate to ground him, she pours a glass of water and presses it into his hands. His motor functions are so compromised that he completely fails to grip the glass, forcing Nadia to hold it up to his mouth. Seeing him entirely unresponsive to physical touch and water, a dark dread settles in her chest. She grabs her phone and decides the situation is beyond her control. She announces she is dialing 911. The introduction of that specific number, a severe, real-world emergency protocol, acts as a psychological puncture. It pierces the thick fog of Kamran's cognitive freefall. When a mind is lost in an internal paradox, gentle coaxing rarely works. It often requires the threat of acute external consequences to forcefully snap the person's attention back to the present moment. The threat of paramedics arriving finally prompts Kamran to move. He weakly raises a hand to press down on her phone. He is panting, his chest heaving as if he just ran a marathon, utterly exhausted by the silent panic. Before he speaks, he casts a paranoid glance toward the living room. He needs to confirm the children are distracted by their phones, ensuring that what he is about to say stays between him and his wife. He looks Nadia in the eyes with terrifying sincerity and delivers the impossible fact. The alleys, the neighbors they have known for months, are not inside apartment 4B, yet the apartment is fully occupied. This side-by-side structural mapping shows the precise, sinister nature of the anomaly. The new occupants are entirely different people, yet they perfectly mirror the demographic nodes of the original family: a father, a mother, 2 boys, and 1 little girl. And the strangers didn't act confused by Kamran's presence. They looked him dead in the eye and stated, without wavering, that they are the same neighbors Kamran and Nadia have always had, having lived in that unit for years. A man standing in front of you telling you a lie is manageable, but a stranger presenting an identical copy of your reality while casually erasing your lived history introduces a horror you cannot fight.